Both boats at full speed, it's neck and neck. These boats locked together. He cannot believe what has happened. No room! Pulls the spray, barreling down the line. Says they're coming on the inside. Bark out, burying the bounce. I think there's contact between the rack and the pole.
Welcome to Perth and Match Cup Australia, where the who's who of the match racing world have descended on the Swan River of Freshwater Bay to make their mark at the opening of the World Match Racing Tour 2017. World champions, Olympic medalists and world record holders are all amongst the skippers vying for the trophy and precious tour points.
It's just great to be back on the World Match Racing Tour. It's been quite a long gap, but we're really excited to start the 2017 season. And obviously it's great to be back here in Perth. We did well here last year, so we're hoping to try and repeat this year.
For us, it's just about going out and having fun every day and you know, trying to put up some good results. And you know, we're going to push hard every day, just try to get better as a team and try to put as many hours on the water as we can. And hopefully again that will be enough to get us into the finals.
A little bit different to last year, just shaking things up a little bit. We know that a lot of locals have been sailing the boats here very hard over the winter, so we're going to be watching them to see if they've moved the techniques on from last year, and really just trying to get up to speed with the new team and see where we end up.
Standing in the way of the favourites are 15 teams who will do their best to keep them off the podium. Amongst them are Spindrift Racing from France, led by Jan Guichard, and Nikolai Sejersted of Evie Racing from Denmark, former Volvo Ocean Race skipper. Also from Denmark is Jonas Vara, gold medalist in Beijing 2008, sailing the 49er. Sally Barkow of the United States, experienced round the world and Olympic sailor, leads the all-female Team Magenta 32. Also joining these match racing heroes is a lineup of very talented locals, including Torvar Mirsky and brothers Sam and David Gilmore, who all skipper teams representing Royal Freshwater Bay Yacht Club, and Matt Jerwood of South of Perth Yacht Club. There can be only one winner. Who will take the crown here at Match Cup Australia? The first 2 days saw 18 teams divided into 3 groups battle it out in the Fleet Race qualifiers for a place in the Super 16 knockout round. In Groups 1, defending world champion Phil Robertson from New Zealand looks strong.
And it is Phil Robertson through the line from New Zealand, 2016 world champion that flies through the air and skims through the finishing line.
Robertson's countryman Chris Steele was also off to a solid start, topping the group overall. In Group 2, it was top-ranked Taylor Camfield from the US Virgin Islands with the best results overall, posting an incredible 6 bullets. For Denmark's Nikolai Sejersted, however, a capsize took him out of sailing.
Says they're coming on the inside, Barkow burying the bow and Sejersted flipping over. I think there's contact between the rack and the pole.
They still made it through the qualifiers. The lead in Group 3 was incredibly close between 3 big players, France's Jan Guichard and Torvar Mirsky and Evan Walker from Australia, all on 22 points. Great Britain's Ian Williams on 23 after a capsize.
Now this is not a familiar position for the 6-time match racing world champion.
The bottom finishers from each group were then left to fight for the final 16th spot in a knockout match race series.
Peter John Postma and crew will cross the line. They bested Sally Barkow 2-1.
Day 3 at Match Cup Australia saw the competition enter the eagerly anticipated knockout matches in the round of Super 16. 6-time match race world champion Ian Williams of GAC Pindar came up against an on-form Matt Jerwood of Redline Racing. We join the tie in race 3, and with the score standing at 2 wins to nothing in favour of the local team from Perth, this was do or die for the British skipper.
See his Jenica furling away, 1:18 to go. Williams coming down and round the outside. Jerwood now unfurling his Jenica to try and build speed, try and defend against the hook. Williams bringing his bow up. Both boats almost, well, dead downwind, perhaps 160 true on port starboard as they track back towards the start. Wow, big luff from Jerwood, and Williams is in a bit of a broach right on the edge. Williams just hanging on. Jerwood now trying to dig the knife in. I think Jerwood actually just letting Williams off the hook a little bit there. A bit of a luff, but wow, Williams in trouble to windward.
I think the rigs may have touched there, and we could see a penalty on this play.
But we can see that blue flag coming up. I think the umpire's agreeing. Williams has the penalty, Tucker. Great spot there. The rigs touching, and Jerwood there coming in. Williams just get caught out. Umpire Bill Edgerton just deciding, spotting that contact. Now 20 seconds to go. They're right down by the pin. What options does either boat have? Williams will have to do a penalty. He will have to be clear behind at the start. So very little reason for him to try and push to accelerate. He's bringing the bow down now. Can he generate a bit of a luff? Can he hold Williams behind the line in the final few seconds? Williams with a stab. Jerwood completing onto port. But how will he react here? He's got to duck behind Jerwood at some point to complete that penalty turn. You can see him now just really waiting for Jerwood in the centre of the line, and we're going to see a very interesting exchange. Williams has to get behind Jerwood to clear his penalty. Jerwood has just been caught out of the start, luffed back to the right. He's just quietly building. You can see that penalty flag still up on Williams. Jerwood is going to try and maximise this as best he can, bringing the bow down now. We will see him make sure that he's as fast as he possibly can before he passes Williams. Williams has to complete, I think, this penalty as soon as possible. I think the rules are talking about. No, he's trying to build his speed. Now Williams will start to go now. Jenica coming out. The overlap, the penalty still outstanding. Now the penalty down. All even Stevens and Williams behind, fighting for his life in this Super 16 round. Jerwood there inflicting an amazing laugh, and now leading this match to bring it home and knock out the 6-time match racing world champion.
Jerwood still out in front, and it'll be a split at the bottom gates with Ian Williams heading to the left.
Well, Jerwood really getting out jail free, getting down to that mark. He actually got down to the gate comparatively easily. A bit of a heel on Williams. You just feel like maybe they're just not responding to the conditions quite as well. We're thinking about the tacks. We're just watching Williams through here. That ball coming down late on that leeward side, the windward hull potting up. I mean, that again, actually a beautiful tack.
All credit to Matt Jerwood. He's fought hard, as you say. He's grabbed the 6-time world champion by the scruff of the neck and proven that he is a player in this top level of match racing sailing.
And today they've beaten one of their heroes, and they've done it right in front of their home crowd here in Perth. The lawn are on their feet, and you know, rightly so. Congratulations, Matt Jerwood, progressing through to that quarter-final.
After seeing his brother Sam comprehensively beaten by Jan Guichard of Spindrift Racing, David Gilmour cruised to a 2-0 advantage against Evan Walker in an all-Australian derby. Walker came back in the 3rd match, but in the final stages of the 4th, Gilmour clawed his way past his opponent at the final top mark to take the win and progress into the final 8.
And it is David Gilmour that is going to come down, and he's going to come through the line, and he is going to close this out. The crowds are on their feet.
Also through to the quarterfinals on day 3 were Taylor Canfield's US 1 defeating Peter Jan Postma of Sailing Team NL in straight races, and Kiwi Chris Steele, whose 36 below racing team saw off Denmark's Jonas Warrer of Team Warren in 5 races after Warrer had gone 2-0 up. Day 4 and the remaining 3 Super 16 pairings would face off in a challenging southerly wind. Tour card holder Nikolai Seierstedt came up against Steve Thomas's RPM Racing, the local team coming into this Young Guns matchup.
Seierstedt having to soak, and Thomas coming in to try and snatch the opportunity. He's going to come around the outside. Seierstedt with a jibe. It's gone to pieces for the Danishman, and Thomas has come around him on the ley line, rounded that right-hand mark and into the lead.
The dominance of Thomas meant that Sejersted became the victim of yet another giant slaying at this unpredictable first event on the 2017 tour. Next up, Torvar Mirsky of the Royal Perth Yacht Club, on his return to the World Match Racing Tour, took on Nicholas Dackhammer of Essex Racing Team.
Great start from Dackhammer, leaving Mirsky really standing. It was all about the ley line.
The local skipper kept spectators on the edge of their seats as he came back from 2-1 down to take the tie in 5 races. In the final mouth-watering rounds of the Super 16 knockouts, Swedish skipper Måns Holmberg faced the defending World Match Racing Tour champion Phil Robertson of China One Ningbo. Holmberg took the first bullet, but as the racing progressed, the performance of Robertson began to build. We joined the pairing in race 3 with the score level at 1 win apiece.
Robertson starting to build now over the top. Måns Holmberg a tiny bit early, but I think he's going to hold on to that inside line. It's going to come down to execution in the final few seconds. Robertson in the windward position. Holmberg in the blue to leeward. All clear on the start line. And Holmberg powering along. Great job of his acceleration with a much shorter piece of runway to build over. And he is holding on to that inside. He is not going to go down easily.
This has all the makings of a spectacular match. Both boats flying into mark number 1. Holmberg to leeward, holding off the world champion Phil Robertson to windward.
2, 1, jiving.
Robertson jiving for a right-hand turn at the leeward gates.
2,
Holmberg, meanwhile,
1, go
rounding the left one, ahead by about 2.5 to 3 lengths.
He's bringing his bow up. Now, if he can lay in, he may well have even passed Robertson. He's certainly coming up now. He's looking like he's going to try and get in, and I think Måns Holmberg has misjudged this. The wind has gone right round to the left, and Robertson piling round the inside into the lead in this match. What a comeback. He would have been 150 metres behind, but in those final seconds, he just wound up, and then he wound up, and then he wound up, and he is round the inside.
It's not over yet, though. Look at Holmberg powering over the top of him as both boats head downwind on starboard. Who's got the lead? It's bow to bow.
And I think we've got another pass.
Yes, it's Holmberg ahead.
Måns Holmberg with the jibe around that right-hand mark. Robertson continuing on straight, almost rounding simultaneously. Right, who's picked right?
My money's with Robertson. He had a lot more speed, and Holmberg had to do a down-speed jibe to get around the left gate. Robertson full pace off to the right, and we've got a split.
They're coming head-to-head. Robertson has the right of way. The boats come back together, and Holmberg forced to duck. He's heading to the right-hand side, but Phil Robertson is just ahead, and actually Måns Holmberg doing quite a big duck there and actually passing a couple of lengths behind.
Seems to be good pressure on the water on this side where Holmberg is tacking into, and that could disadvantage Robertson.
This time it is Holmberg that has the starboard advantage. Robertson already got his bow down. I think he's going to duck, and we have another lead change here.
Inches in this match. These two teams trading blows like two prize fighters.
It is going to come down to this. Måns Holmberg has a good angle, but Måns Holmberg now having to bring the bow down. Robertson coming down for a dial. Both boats head to head. Måns Holmberg bringing the bow back up. Now can Robertson lay? Måns Holmberg is going to have to do another tack. Robertson through the tack. Is he on lay line? He must be. Coming in at the top. Holmberg underneath.
High mode, high mode. High mode.
Robertson looking to try and lay. I think Holmberg is definitely going to have to tack. Yes, he is. Now, can he have a piece of Robertson? He will have done an extra tack. I think Robertson should cross. It's going to be close.
Okay,
but the current reigning world champion, he has come around the outside. He has timed that beat to perfection.
Phil Robertson and crew many times behind, but ahead when it counted. Here at the finish, we'll go 2 up over Måns Holmberg.
Robertson was back on form and closed out the match 3-1. Holmberg was on his way home. 2016 champion Phil Robertson becomes the 8th and final skipper into the quarterfinals of Match Cup Australia, alongside Taylor Campfield, Chris Steele, Torvar Mirsky, Steve Thomas, Jan Guichard, Matt Jerwood and David Gilmore. Join us after the break as the competition hots up on the water with a place in the semi-final at stake. Welcome back to Perth for the first event of the 2017 World Match Racing Tour. It's quarterfinals time here in Match Cup Australia, and only 4 of the remaining 8 skippers can progress to the next round and be in with a chance at a place on the podium.
Not a lot of wind this morning, so probably expecting the doctor to roll in this afternoon, which will be exciting.
Our team's in that honeymoon phase where, you know, we're sort of just getting together and everyone's putting a lot of energy and feel like, you know, no matter what comes up today, we'll be there, sort of thing.
You know, we're going well so far, and we're just trying to get more comfortable with the new team. And but you know, I think we're only going up from here. So we're excited to keep it moving and see how the season progresses.
The first pairing matched David Gilmour from Western Australia against world number 1 Taylor Camfield of US 1. Gilmour netted the first match before Taylor Camfield levelled the score. The tie finally balanced at 1 win each. We join the racing in match 3.
Camfield getting, I think, the better of the tacks. Gilmour a little parked up, 8 seconds to go. Final 5 seconds, Camfield up to speed in the woodward position. Gilmour in the green, down to the leeward side, and they're off. Great start from the US Virgin Island and the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, trim it on, trim it on.
Rolling round the front of Gilmour now.
Take it some side. Hold. Trim it on, go hard, go hard.
And round they go. Camfield in the lead. David Gilmour to follow.
Out for now, yeah. Oh, you're good.
Into the top mark, Gilmour looking for the inside. Is he going to get there? Camfield on the outside, David Gilmour on the in. Has he got inside? Yes, he has. David Gilmour on the inside, around the mark, neck and neck.
Coming on.
The Australian team from the Royal Freshwater Bay piling into the mark. Camfield luffing him away. He's had to tack. As Camfield continues off to the right-hand side. This is a very close match. Camfield on starboard, David Gilmour is on port. He's looking for the cross. Has he got it? Campfield's bringing his bow up.
Come on! Hey, don't hit us! Don't hit us!
And I think we're going to be close to contact here. David Gilmour trying to bring his bow up. Taylor Camfield on the inside looking for the tack. The penalty's on Camfield. David Gilmour was in the exclusion zone. Camfield was on starboard. And he's put him about.
Yeah, we got to go over
David
here.
Gilmour super slow.
So we're gonna go.
Now Camfield has to get behind David Gilmour. Now what he's doing at the moment, he's sailing away because he wants to make sure when he takes his stern that he's as fast as he possibly can. Camfield
should be okay.
Slightly gaming the system, just trying to make sure that the penalty he gets for making this mistake is as small as possible. David Gilmour, I think we'll see him tack.
We're 2 behind here. We're behind him. We're behind him. Stand by deploy. That's 2. 2, 1, go deploy.
Now the penalty's all clear. Camfield is behind, but doing an excellent job of managing the distance, minimising the loss.
Yeah.
And they both lead off to the right-hand side. Camfield behind, already setting up for the jibe. Gilmour is in the lead. This will be to take the game to match point, and these 2 prize fighters neck and neck through the turn, and Camfield quicker through. I think he's going to roll David Gilmour.
And go for all here, guys. Easy side.
And again, neck and neck, they round, but Camfield has done 2.
Need the power here, guys, okay?
David Gilmour will be faster at the turn, but Camfield is heading to this favoured left-hand side as we look out. Both boats coming back together towards the centre of the course for this critical cross. Camfield has the right of way as they meet. Gilmour looking for the cross to the right-hand side, and I think he's got it. Sliding across the front of Camfield. And David Gilmour here from Perth, from this very club, the Royal Freshwater Bay Yacht Club, turns down to take the lead in this quarter-final.
In one of the biggest upsets of the regatta so far, David Gilmour went on to take the tie 3 wins to 1, sending Taylor Camfield crashing out of the competition. In the second quarter-final pairing, local wildcard skipper Matt Jerwood of Redline Racing took the first two races against Kiwi skipper Chris Steele of 36 Below Racing in a Trans-Tasman face-off.
Who can pull the trigger fastest? And like two stones in a rubber band, they're firing on off the line.
In the final deciding match, Jerwood took the start and with it the race and a place in the semi-final.
Matt Jerwood will move on into the semi-finals.
Definitely the pressure was on, you know. It's never fun when you're 2-0 up and you faced a 2-2, but man, the boys, they stuck together and we came through.
Next to do battle on the shores of Freshwater Bay, hot favourite Jan Guichard of Spindrift Racing against a resurgent Torvar Mersky of Mersky Racing Team.
We will have a great battle against an Australian, Torvar. It's a really good sailor, it's a really great sailor. It's going to be tight for sure every race. We will be focused on our game and I'm expecting a good result.
You just watch the way he sails, the boat's always there. So he sort of invites you to make mistakes, I think, and he's going to be a tough opponent today.
With the advantage of sailing on home waters, Mersky raced into a 2-win lead before Guichard struck back. With the sea breeze now rolling up the river and the tie on a knife edge, Guichard would have to make his move in the fourth match.
And here he comes, Jan Guichard. The strategy may be paying off, rolling over the front of Torvar Mersky. Final 7 seconds. It's Jan Guichard in the green, sole boat, fighting for his life. Yet again, over the top of Torvar Mersky, and the Frenchman powers over. He was on a time run from about 45 seconds out, and he hit the line absolutely bang on.
Recall yellow, Jan Guichard is over.
Wow. Well, the race officer steps in.
Cam, go.
Jan
Go,
Guichard
Cam.
has to drop behind Torvar Mersky. Now, we thought that was the greatest pull the trigger from 45 seconds to go start we'd ever seen, but he was a hair's breadth early. And now Mersky ends up in front.
2, 1, here we go.
On board with Mersky in the lead.
Go guys, go guys.
You can hear the energy from Mersky. He knows this is where it's going to count. Through the turn, that trim on.
Ease trim. Furling in 3.
Back
2,
up to speed
1.
as
Furling.
Mersky piles across. He's round the mark. Guichard with a jibe down. Beautiful jibe drop from Guichard. You've got to be so careful. And it looks to have evened right back up. Mersky bringing the bow down. Two prize fighters head to head, right at each other in the middle of the course as Jan Guichard slams across the front behind Mersky.
Flag on the play. Let's get the umpire call in the center of the screen.
It's a green.
Copy.
No penalty. Mersky looks like a duck.
Mersky has his bow down already, I think.
Okay,
bringing it back down again to take.
I was good then, I had it.
The right-hand side, back under control, sheets back on.
So Guichard in control of the match now, but he's shifted to the left-hand side. He'll lose, rights under the rules. Here comes attack from Mersky.
Now Mersky should be on the ley line for me for that right-hand gate as we look out from the shore.
Yeah, he is. He'll be coming in on ley line for left turn, and Guichard coming in sort of probably a mid-gate ley line. And right now, Guichard's a giveaway boat again in this next intersection, but obviously can have inside rights. So right now, Guichard probably tacking for left turn unless he can cross.
Still happy to go left.
I think Guichard too scared to tack. There's so little in it between these two as Mersky and Jan Guichard around the final top gate. Absolutely even Stevens. And they head off again to opposite sides of the course. It's like watching two gamblers put all their chips onto the table, one onto red, one onto black. And we are going to see who is going to back the right horse as they come down this final run. Jan Guichard has turned it back on. He looks to be fast to me. And he has the starboard advantage, but can Mersky cross? The orange of Mersky sliding across the front of Jan Guichard.
Stand by.
How close is this match now? One more jibe for Mersky into the leeward marks.
We're ducking.
And Torvar Mersky looking for the behind.
That's it. Okay, help.
Jan Guichard is going to cross. And the Frenchman back into the lead, bringing the bow down a little, trying to slow down Torvar Mersky, whose boat leaps out of the water. A little bit of loss of control there. Torvar Mersky's laying You can see Jan Guichard, he's reaching in. Mirsky is going to be able to come across, but Jan Guichard's so fast, but it's Mirsky out in front, and the Australian has come round him in the final stages of this beat. It has been cross after cross, but Mirsky with the advantage leading down this final reach to the finish, and he's going to do it, I think, for Australia. Torvar Mirsky is going to confirm his place in the quarterfinals. The Australian has come back on this World Match Racing Tour, and he is coming on the top reach. He has defeated Spindrift Racing. He's going to send the Frenchman out of the competition. Jan Guichard is going home, and Torvar Mirsky, in his return to the World Match Racing Tour, is through into the next round. 3-1. What a match!
Fighting for the fourth semi-final spot were New Zealander and reigning Match Racing Tour champion Phil Robertson and Giant Slayer Steve Thomas of the Royal Perth Yacht Club. Despite pinching a win, Thomas proved no match for Robertson, the Kiwi skipper dispatching the local hero in 4 races. With this win, the 2016 champion becomes the only tour card holder left in the competition. Defending his crown will be no easy task. The 3 semi-finalists joining him, David Gilmore, Matt Jerwood and Torvar Mirsky, all hailing from Western Australia and sailing on home waters. Join us after the break as the remaining 4 teams battle for a place in the final. Welcome back to Match Cup Australia. It's the business end of the competition. 18 teams have been whittled down to just 4 semi-finalists, each vying for a place in the final and a shot at the trophy. 3 of the remaining skippers hold home water advantage. David Gilmore, Matt Jerwood and Torvar Mirsky, all hailing from the shores of Western Australia. With current Match Racing Tour champion and the only remaining tour card holder Phil Robertson looking to upset the party.
Got some pretty light breeze out here, so it's going to be different sort of sailing to yesterday afternoon. I think it's going to be quite tricky, especially with the breeze dying. There could be a few races and some really light wind.
Yeah, it's the business end of the regatta right now, so everyone's got to bring their A game, and you know, I think at this point in the regatta it comes down to the head games more than anything. It's just who can hold their nerve and who can win the little mental battles out there on the course.
Semi-final pairing 1, Robertson versus Gilmore.
With 7 seconds to go, Gilmore now
He's almost got a shot out here.
And all clear there, Gilmore to leeward.
It is Phil Robertson who draws first blood, but only just. David Gilmore is right on his heels.
So around the top and the first little dig to leeward from Robertson.
And a better deploy there by David Gilmore, so he's right on his tail. We'll see if Dave Gilmore can match this jibe.
I mean, they really are inches apart.
Copy.
I would imagine Phil Robertson can always
left turn, I think, though. Stand by
reach out and
guys,
touch the pole of David Gilmore as Robertson turns down into the jibe. Gilmore turning down through the jibe as well. It's a race for the Jenica trimmers. He's bringing the bow down. There's the jibe mark. They've got to get around that bottom gate. And the Jenica's coming back out now on Gilmore's boat, not on board Robertson, who can't seem to get it out. He's got a twist. And now David Gilmore coming in underneath. Robertson is going for a bit of a luff. They're in at the bottom gate. There it is.
Might have been a penalty there, and maybe collision at the bottom there as well, rack to rack.
And I couldn't quite understand what was going on. David Gilmore had his Jenica out, and he's given the penalty to David Gilmore.
Yellow flag, David Gilmore cops the penalty. Now look at Robertson's boat. He's got a man off the rail. Something is going on inside there.
I think they're trying to get a little more tension back into that Jenica halyard.
Yeah.
For me, but they've got an almighty twist, I think, in the clue.
Very
Robertson there catching up. He's completely stopped in the tack. He can't use his Jenica because it's all tangled up. And David Gilmore coming underneath, tacks through, uses his Jenica to accelerate away. And we have a lead change. David Gilmore has stormed through that tack underneath Robertson and into the lead. And Robertson, he started to get a bit clustered up down towards the bottom of the run.
Rounding the final mark, Gilmore heads for home. Here in front of the hometown fans at Royal Freshwater Bay Yacht Club, he has sailed his way into the finals, and he's just sailed his way past current world champion Phil Robertson to take first blood over Well, a team that you would be expecting not to have sailed like that. What a fantastic race for David Gilmore.
Robertson responded immediately, taking the next 2 races and forcing Gilmore's hand. Could the local skipper claw his way back into the competition and ruin the party for the reigning Match Racing Tour champion?
Gilmore now bringing the bow down at 22 seconds to go, and he's looking to try and get Robertson closer, but Robertson, for me, with the better position. Not a lot of time to burn here, perhaps only 3 or 4 seconds. Robertson has the control, bringing the bow up one final time, holding David Gilmore back, who's starting to unfurl his Jenica. 3 seconds. David Gilmore just unsure. He's a little bit bunched up at the end with the deploy. Without the deploy, he's round the pin. It is Phil Robertson that leads this pair off the start line. It was a real masterful lead back, Robertson there. You can see him just eyes right back out. He's leaving nothing to chance today. Now, David Gilmore, for me, has really defined his matches out there on the race course by keeping it super tight. And to a point, that's exactly what he's doing here.
Slow mode here, right turn.
Jibing in onto the stern of Robertson.
Tiller with a good call, the tactician for Robertson.
And if you think if Robertson had tact, they would have been almost level pegging there with David Gilmore, perhaps a length or 2 in front. And as it stands, Robertson has extended miles into the lead, perhaps 12 lengths. Great call from Will Tiller.
Tacking over. They're laying easy. And set up the jibe, boys. Jive in 3, 2, 1, now.
And it has got very light. The wind is transitioning round to the doctor.
Got it?
And there he goes, Robertson sticking the knife in up on the windward side. One of his crew right forward as he sits up on the rack. You're only allowed to have 3 crew up on that windward beam. Well, it's a masterclass really of sailing in the light. He's managing the risk. He's sailing the puffs. He's sailing in the breeze that he finds himself in.
Okay, speed now.
Trying to mitigate risk. There's no way to do that completely, but perhaps as good a job as I've seen on this World Match Racing Tour so far. Phil Robertson has come out with all guns blazing today.
And there it is, the finish line ahead of Phil Robertson and crew. They will now go up 3-1 over David Gilmore and seal their place in the final.
The second semi-final pairing would be an all-Australian matchup. Matt Jerwood of Redline Racing battling Torvar Mirsky of Mirsky Racing Team for the remaining spot in the final.
Racing another local, Matt Jerwood, so it's the Derby. I think Matt's got a large support crew coming down, so I'm not sure who's going to be cheered the most, but we know it's going to be a good race. I think it's going to be a good show.
I think probably the more moderate the conditions, the more it's match racing. The more to the extremes of light and windy, the more it becomes actually a team game. So I think this morning it will be very much keeping the boat going fast. The teamwork will be critical and not stopping the boat.
Mirsky coming in underneath the line of Jerwood, looking to try and hook. Jerwood responds, bringing his bow up, straight into attack. He's tacking in front of Torvar Mirsky, bringing his bow down. There's a Y flag. We may well see the umpires involved as Mirsky holds high. Jerwood tacking back, and it's a yellow flag. Penalty on Jerwood. So final few seconds. Mirsky to leeward, starting to unfurl his Jenica, all clear.
Where's the mark?
Now the penalty. Jerwood will have to drop behind by 2 lengths.
That could be massive. Jerwood, if he wins this match, goes into the finals of the Match Cup Australia. With that start, he has to shed the penalty. 2 boat lengths behind his opposition, and Mirsky leads into Mark 1.
Hold. 2, 1, and furling. Yeah.
Natural move there would have been to have carried on. That's a lot of turning to do. He must have really wanted that mark. Matt Jerwood heading across to the opposite.
Copy. Stand by.
Here's the tack from
2,
Mirsky onto the line of Jerwood,
1.
trying to stop him laying that top mark.
And cut.
Here comes Jerwood on the inside, bringing his bow up.
Marginal, trim up, trim up.
Now Will Mursky lay.
Yeah.
Got to be careful here. Getting under the lay line, and Matt Joward rounding the opposite
deploy.
mark. Taylor
Frack down.
Torvar Mursky around on the inside. Both boats really slow. Joward with a jibe set. The wind is in on this side, and it is Torvar Mursky the first to pull the trigger, firing off his pin. And he is coming down the run now. Triple the speed of Matt Joward. Certainly got a bit funky at the bottom.
1, here we go.
Joward looks to be in good pressure, coming in, flying the hull. Torvar Mursky coming across. I think it could get very tight at the bottom here. Torvar Mursky coming across, and Matt Joward's jibed on top. Mursky up to speed. I expect we'll see him jibe and take this near mark. No.
The game a lot closer at the bottom of the track as Joward reels Mursky in and split tacks at the bottom of the track. This time Joward will head to the right looking upwind, leaving Mursky to take the left.
Trim up.
I think this is the win he needed. I mean, it's the win he needed to stay in the competition, but it's the win he needed to reassure himself, feels strong. Joward actually coming in really fast and really high.
Everything on.
Maybe not all over. Matt Joward suddenly
trim up. Go, Trav.
10 degrees higher and 5 knots faster. Boats coming back together. Mursky can't believe it. You can hear the tone in his voice. He's bowed down and he's light, and Matt Joward is coming, hammering in from the right-hand side. The mighty right has struck, and Matt Joward coming in, and he's going to cross. I can't believe it. Torvar Mursky out of the top left-hand side of the course has struck a wind rock and has crashed out of this race. Matt Joward around on the inside, now has victory in his sights.
Unbelievable.
I cannot believe it. Matt Joward around. He was dead and buried. I'd almost put the 1 and 0s on my sheet.
So a dramatic twist of fate after trailing all the way around the course in a best-of-5 first-to-3 series. Matt Joward will go 3-0 over Mursky, and he moves on into the Match Cup Australia finals.
With that win, Matt Joward of Redline Racing joins 2016 champion Phil Robertson in the final. Who will take the crown? Join us after the break. Welcome back. It's finals day. After 84 races over 6 days, 18 teams are whittled down to just 2 skippers, in with a chance of taking the crown here, and with it, precious tour points. Reigning Match Racing Tour champion Phil Robertson of China One Ningbo, and local wildcard skipper Matt Joward of Redline Racing.
We definitely have experience on our side. We've been here a few times before, and hopefully that plays into our hands a little bit, and coming out swinging today, there's no doubt about it. So yeah, it's going to be hard and fast, and we're excited.
Robertson drew first blood, notching the win in match 1. We join the racing in match 2, with Joward desperate to overhaul the 2016 Tour champion.
1:26 on the clock. Robertson on the stern of Joward, I think, looking for the match as they turn back towards the start line. Joward